take that new kid long to catch on.
Don't take any of them long.
The credit peddlers and securities dealers went out of their way to entice everyone to join the party. They threw a great bash, and with all that free market supply around, who could resist? No one wanted to be left out. With so many tasty and addictive treats being passed around, we became a society of debt junkies. No one ever imagined that in an intricately connected global economy, our nation's debt dependency would begin to ripple around the world at lightning speeds. Now that's one big party. Has it ever been this easy or convenient to borrow our way to prosperity? The all-too seductive pleasures of aspiring to the American dream help transform an entire society of careful spenders and cautious lenders into a society of buy now, play now, get your quick fix, and worry about how to pay for it later.
How's the taste?
Nice. A menthol cigarette that really lets the tobacco taste come through. Thanks, Riley.
Yep, we were hooked.
You go back to the Dutch and tulip time. In our own time, you go to the dot-com bubble and then the housing bubble. Seems we never learn that things that are too good to be true are.
This is fundamentally originally caused by the flattening out of home prices, and that is only now just beginning.
An economic bubble, or speculative mania, arises when the perceived value of an asset or asset class rises beyond any rational estimation of its intrinsic value. As people's expectations that prices will continue to rise bring more buyers into the market, prices rise excessively. This creates a positive feedback loop, leading to a dramatic divergence from any realistic valuation.
It used to be that $5 million would buy a beautiful house. Now I would say you have to go to $10 million.
In other words, bubbles are created when people collectively disconnect themselves from reality and begin to attach unrealistic values to property and other assets.
There! That's the way to have fun at a party.
The rising asset prices begin attracting other investors, which helps drive up these prices even more. For instance, how much would you expect to pay for a tulip bulb in the early 1600s? In 1634, the Dutch established a futures market for the trading of tulip bulbs. Exotic and rare tulips became the focus of speculation. A 4-year frenzy drove prices to unimaginable heights, more than what a skilled worker earned in a year. At the peak, a rare black tulip bulb traded for the equivalent of a rather substantial mansion. Tulip mania came to an abrupt end in 1637, when prices collapsed 99% over a 3-month period. Every mania and every panic calls into question a society's ability to appraise value.
See, I'm showering in the school. What's for hot water? All I want, all I can use.
The bank's excesses and orgies of speculation.
At the time, the Dutch had the most sophisticated financial markets in the world, holding and trading as much capital as the rest of Europe combined. Yet even the most powerful and experienced financial authorities prove unable to foresee and prevent the cycle of booms and busts that is repeated by almost every generation. Our failure to learn from the past seems to condemn us, eventually, to face life on the edge of a bubble.
But it makes you wonder about kids nowadays. In my day, when you were invited to a party, everybody was supposed to act like ladies and gentlemen.
Every age has its peculiar folly, some scheme, project, or fantasy into which it plunges, spurred on either by the love of gain, the necessity of excitement, or the mere force of imitation. Even the wisest among us are not immune from the siren's call to financial disaster. In the spring of 1720, Isaac Newton stated, "I can calculate the motions of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people." On April 20th, accordingly, he sold out his shares in the South Sea Company, making 100% profit, 7,000 pounds. By the summer of 1720, the frenzy had reached such levels that he could not resist getting back in the market. He got his shares just at the top and ended up losing 20,000 pounds. From then on, South Sea became taboo words around him.
I guess he felt ashamed, too. He said he was sorry that it was his fault.
I'm Klondike Tea, I tend the bar for men both brave and bold. It warms my heart to serve them all the ale with brewer's gold. Enjoy that golden flavor, true ale flavor.
How do rational individuals acting in free markets propagate financial manias and the ensuing panics? From the frontier spirit of the settlers to the enthusiasm of startup company entrepreneurs, Americans have been willingly carried away by bubbles as well. Speculation and risk-taking has been a central part of American life and values. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. This country drew to it those willing to risk everything familiar for the unknown. The popular wish to get rich quick has long been a part of the American franchise.
Terry dodged that bullet and he stomped to death. Stomped my balls till I wanted to scream. Should have killed him 'cause he's so down mean.
Well, Mr. Phoebe, exactly what?
Just as it we're trying to do? Well, suppose I fill you in.
To understand how we arrived at our current financial crisis, we have to take a look at the economic system that makes it possible. That intrepid American temperament, in pursuit of unbridled self-interest and commercial freedom, harnessed to a powerful free market system, produces the technological progress and widespread material wealth we often take for granted. These are some of the unintended consequences of our competition, drive, and ambition.
No hokum, no gingerbread. JB's all business, and he's the man we've got to please, concept-wise.
He generally neither intends to promote the public interest, nor knows how much he is promoting it. It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interest. They intend only their own gain, and they are in this, as in many other cases, led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was no part of their intention.
Mr. Speaker, those who believe that they can control and direct the market's invisible hand will eventually be slapped by it. That's the painful and embarrassing situation we find ourselves in today.
The invisible hand, guiding free enterprise, commutes individual self-interest into the most efficient use of resources, while contributing the greatest value to the common good, as a byproduct. Like enjoying a good party, we realize the social and individual benefits of a market society, but only when everyone acts like proper ladies and gentlemen.
No, you beat me.
It's a tie.
Hey, that was fun. Actually, you won.
In the race for wealth, he may run as hard as he can and strain every nerve and muscle in order to outstrip all his competitors. But if he should jostle or throw down any of them, the indulgence of the spectators is entirely at an end. It is a violation of fair play which they cannot admit of. Constructive competition, based on individual liberty, builds wealth and enhances the economic life of a community and a nation.
Preserving the American way of life, freedom, democracy, the basic aspirations of mankind. Oh, there's a hell of a lot of stuff we could cover here.
Birthed on the threshold of the Industrial Revolution, the early primitive American economy, for the most part, resembled a pastoral way of life, with agriculture as the cornerstone, constituting 70 to 80% of the economy. Manufactured goods and other products were imported, offset by what little manufacturing was performed by individual craftsmen and artisans, often working at home to produce goods for local trade. On the frontier, barter and subsistence agriculture predominated.
Tomahawks, red flannel, combs, butcher knives, 4 dozen of them.
Experiments with different types of money, from using actual commodities, like corn and tobacco, even gunpowder and bullets, to paper money issued by the respective colonies, did nothing to make trade easier. With no regulations, no standard of currency, and no large-scale manufacturing of finished goods, trade and industry could not expand or grow. By the late 18th century, the Founding Fathers faced many other obstacles that threatened the future of America's economic vitality. The way they resolved these early challenges reverberates to this day.